And how's it going? It's your boy JB, and we are back with another video on FC26. I did say in the last one we would look through the main 5 points from the FUT Accountant, FUT Economist video. I won't show the video directly, but I will put all of the details for FUT Accountant down below in the description if you want to go and check it out for yourself. But first of all, we're going to move out and we're going to look at the par curve. Alright, so the par curve itself, so I'm not going to introduce any spoilers into this video to start off with. This is all stuff that's been confirmed within this video. Leakers did get some of it wrong, and we're going to go through that now with the par curve, but essentially what the FUT Economist said is that the par curve is going to slow down during FC26 in order to allow the transfer market to flourish, but also to allow a longer period of time between getting those big cards. So actually getting big cards actually means something. Now, what that means, we don't know yet. Obviously, the rewards will be much lower, and they'll stay lower probably for a while. And of course, we don't know the impact of pack weight and what pack weight's going to look like until we actually get there. But what was published was including less promos, including less store packs, and less paid evos. Now, that wasn't really covered in the video. I think people took that to mean that's what it was. Now, the FUT Economist does come back and clarify, and we'll cover that now. So something else I wanted to clarify, when I mentioned slowing down the par curve, the goal is to help items stay relevant for longer. But that doesn't mean less promos. So there will be a promo every week as normal. I'm sure there'll be 2 or 3 or 4 week promos as well. Hopefully not. I kind of find more than 2 weeks is way too much, to be honest with you. So the key change this year, the average stat boost size of those items relative to existing items will be smaller. So it's about ensuring that if the highest rating in the game is like or of a normal card is 82, these promos will be 83 or will be 80, so it'll be one stat higher most likely. In general, promo squads will focus more on meta depth and accessibility, less on direct par iteration. So I think that's fairly self-explanatory, to be honest with you, and actually something that I'm quite looking forward to. I think there's going to be a lot of byproducts to this. I think BPM will come back quite heavily, actually, because people will be wanting to push out packs, especially those 2-player gold packs to begin with. Certainly something that I do at the very start of what we do and how I kind of put my account together in the end. So I'd be looking very simply at that, making coins through that method, especially if the transfer market's going to be quite good. And hold a value on a player for sure. So I think that's very interesting. And we'll now move on to the next section where we will look at tournaments. Alrighty, so as far as tournaments are concerned then, so live events and tournaments you'll see covered here. So it was confirmed there were definitely going to be DKTs or daily knockout tournaments coming back. There's up to 2 tournaments a week, competitive and friendly. Possible qualification needed, so we did confirm that there may be qualifiers, so you may have to have gotten so many rival points in order to get into this tournament, or you may have had to have some form of challengers finish or whatever it is. And that effectively will allow you through into the actual tournament itself. The tournaments, I think, are going to be constant, so you can play them over and over again in order to get rewards, which I think is pretty good. Cup and card objectives in tournament mode, bonus rewards on top of early SBCs. So I think the idea, and we'll kind of come on to the whole FUT Champions thing in a wee second here, is to reducing the overall rivals amount of games to get your top wins. So currently I think it's 12 wins gets you the 35 points that you need. That's going to reduce. I would say that probably reduced to 7 or 8. I would think maybe 7, 8 or 9, be one of the two. Again, I'm just speculating, but I would presume that would be the case. Then you don't have to get through any tournament or any you have to play the 5 games to get into FUT Champions is what I'm trying to say. I can't think of the right word just off the top of my head. So that's reducing the overall amount of games. So they're looking for you something to do outside of those particular modes, and tournaments is going to be the way forward, I think. So I would expect there's going to be a mass amount of competitive play next year. For definite. I'm actually quite excited about it, to be honest. As someone who doesn't normally like to dabble competitively all the time, I'm quite excited about some of the changes that are being made for people of my skill level as well as people of higher skill levels. So quite looking forward to tournaments. But next up, I want to take a wee look at FUT Champs and the changes that are going to be made there. Okay, so FUT Champs then, FC26. So as I was just saying previously, the first thing is there's no playoffs, right? Playoffs is the word I was looking for, of course. Playoffs have been removed. How you get in is via your division placement and the normal kind of process of pulling together champs points in rivals. Now, there's two different modes. As has been confirmed by Donk here, casual mode from Division 5 downwards, normal mode from Division 4 upwards, but that tuning hasn't been fully agreed yet unless this is specific agreement. But Jamey did say very clearly, or FUT Economist did say very clearly, that they were still working on the tuning of that. I would expect to be a little bit lower than that, maybe Division 6 downwards and Division 5 upwards. But either way, new Challengers mode is coming. It's got a new reward structure. There'll be less games play, so Champions still 15 games. I'd say Challengers maybe 10, or maybe slightly less than that, maybe 8 or 9 again, or maybe 8 again. But either way, a slightly different reward set. Probably the most important thing that they did talk about, though, which was very important, is sandbagging. So they are working on methods to reduce the amount of sandbagging that goes on, because what you'll find is that Division 5, if this say it's Division 5, and as it says in this tweet, people will just sandbag down into Division 5 to play Challengers for easy rewards. And they were very clear in saying that they didn't want that to happen. So that's music to my ears, because whilst I'll be playing competitively, we'll be pushing to try and get up into normal champions this year to actually play champions properly. I don't want to be coming up against what would be Division 4, Division 3, Division 2 players in Challengers. It's just not fair. Just stick to your own lane, if that makes sense. But I'm quite actually excited about it, and it makes me want to play Rivals, to get into it, if you know what I mean. Whereas before, Rivals was a chore. You know, it's just like, ugh, who cares? But I think now I'm going to be giving it full kind of hell for leather over the next wee while. But I think in order to do that, of course, there needs to be things to play for. Now I'm going to move on to the evolutions, because I think some of those updates are going to be pretty cool. Okay, so I think the main one, of course, is goalkeepers are coming. Yo-ho! Goalkeeper Evos will be available in FC26. They will continue to do repeatable evolutions. Now, what that means effectively is, so we'll see Choose Your Own Adventure, which came out recently. So there's 3 ways to do it. What would be cool is if they did, like, you know, a repeatable Evo that gave you 4 finishing as a separate attribute, so attribute evos up to 88, and maybe you could do that twice for a player to bring them up to 88 finishing or whatever. That would be way cooler, I think. But I would expect it'll just be the same evos over and over again, or possibly you'll be able to do, you know, hopefully be able to do an evo, as I say, over a number of period of times over a specific time period. Who knows? Very excited about that, I have to say. One thing that was confirmed by FUT Economist is that for those that do the pre-order, the evolution slot means not that there's an extra evolution for you to complete, but actually you get 2 completions. So where you would only be able to do 1 evo during gameplay, you can do 2. So that's from the very beginning of the game, not from the middle of the game like it usually is. On this particular post here from FUT Camp, he also says maintain card design after completing evos. Now that's not been confirmed yet, so spoiler alert on that one. Again, don't know if that's absolutely true, but presumably it'll come out in the pitch notes in August whenever the Ultimate Team review is completed. So not too shabby at all. Last part, and probably number 5, is quitting during competitive matches. So whilst it's not really covered in this post here from FUT Camp, essentially what is happening is they've taken a phased approach to try and reduce the amount of quitting. So if you now are from the beginning of the game, that phased approach continues on. There will still be kind of parameters that will still need to be met, but the idea is by the end of the year of FC26 they will have taken it away completely. So if you quit, someone will automatically get the win, irrespective of what the condition is. So we expect those conditions to be confirmed again in that deep dive in August, whenever the Ultimate Team trailer comes out. But I think that's an absolute dub for everybody that's been dealing with people who quit at draws and, you know, deliberately be toxic. Now it means that yes, you're going to have to play full games because nobody's going to quit anymore. But that's a good thing, because the way that the games have been for me, certainly recently, is the longer it goes, the better I get into the game. So therefore, you know, I feel a lot better in the second half compared to the first half. But most of the time I don't get there because people quit for the sake of quitting. So huge dub, as it says here. But there we go. So that's all of the main news, I think, coming out of FC26. I'm still super excited about it. I'm sure it may just be market mumbo jumbo, but hey, who knows? I'm going to have some fun anyway next year when it does come out. And there we go. So what a great video actually it was. As I said, I've left the link to the video and FUT Accountant's information down in the description below. Go and have a look at it and see what you think about it. But I think that it gives us a tremendous insight into the content of next year. And I'm very, very excited about getting it going. But hey, I'm your boy JB. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new around here. I'll see you all again very, very soon.